Hello, welcome to the Valve Bounce, and in this correctly white balance adjusted episode, we're going to talk about the Perth SuperSprint tyre pressure changes.
Tyre pressure changes.
Wow. And Barclay Netherfold apparently was talking about wanting more manufacturers in...
Come on, nah, we can't do that. I'm going to lose it. Nah, I'm out.
Okay, well, I guess we're not going to talk about manufacturers in the... Okay, let's just kick off and let's talk about the Perth SuperSprint.
That sounds like a good idea, don't we?
Okay. Maybe we might go to socials for that one. That seemed to have triggered Steve.
Oh, well, I mean, come on. No.
Let's go. Right.
So let's go.
It is a SuperSprint weekend.
It is.
So what does that mean?
Basically, it's a sprint round.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, got it?
Thanks.
That's been the episode for today. Thanks, boys and girls.
Yeah.
No, we have a super sprint weekend. So quite a few things going on. That's what I'm trying to say. So Super Sprint weekend means that we've got 3 practice sessions, we've got 2 qualifyings, and we've got 2 races.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward.
And only 2 races, really short track.
Short track.
And something like 55 laps each.
Yep.
Those races are going to go fast.
They are, which is, it's funny because last year I actually had to look back and there was 3 races. So
yeah,
they have actually cut that. I don't know what the laps were, but they've cut back the race but extended it out potentially.
Okay.
So let's see.
There we go. Well, yeah, so we've basically got 1 race on Saturday, so everything's contained on the Saturday, and then 1 race on Sunday, which is good. Qualifying in both of those respective days, so there's no qualifying on Saturday for the Sunday race or anything. Really good, succinct, straightforward weekend.
Yeah, which brings me to a quick point. I wouldn't mind if we went down the NASCAR approach.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, just over a weekend, get in, get out.
Yeah.
So it's a much easier time for drivers and crew and everything else, and they just run 39 weekends a year, whereas we're running 12 weekends but 39 times.
Yeah, so it's quite funny. I think you might have got the idea through Cam, and it's just like what a great takeaway from the way NASCAR do, because they do get in and out. They're racing all weekends pretty much, so they're always having to go quickly. Yeah. And we do tend to drag out a whole weekend.
And it costs a lot of money to do these big events. So, I mean, fair play on like Adelaide and so forth for a bigger weekend.
Yeah, I think you should have your special rounds, your Bathurst, your Adelaides, your bigger ones. Maybe even like Gold Coast because you want to have a big party thing. But ones like the Perth event makes perfect sense.
Perfect sense, exactly right. Cool. So Friday we got the practice 60-minute session. Yep. And then you've got a 20-minute practice session on the Saturday and the Sunday mornings as well.
Nice.
So just so you're aware, I know we've touched on the races and so forth. So that brings us to compulsory pit stops.
Yeah, so is there compulsory pit stops?
No.
No?
But if you do have a pit stop, change 2 tyres, which I thought was a given.
Okay, so we did check this out because it seemed a little confusing, and we're going to put up an overlay from the Supercars website, but it is basically, there is no compulsory pit stop, but if you do, at any pit stop at any stage in the Supercars calendar, you have to at least change 2 tyres, which sounds pretty standard for safety.
The correct wording, Damo.
Oh, sorry, go.
The correct wording is a minimum of 2 tyres must be changed in pit stops at the Bathurst 500, Perth SuperSprint, our weekend, and Darwin, Townsville, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But no mention of the fact that you actually have to tour a pit lane. So I wonder if you can do 1 set of tyres for 55 laps. You reckon?
Well, high deck track, traditionally, I know there was resurfacing there, and that sort of did change a little bit of the characteristic, but I reckon, look, 55 laps, I think they're going to be pit stopping. I don't think they can get away with it.
I reckon they've got 2 stops a race.
Yeah?
They might be able to do 1, but I think some might try the 2 and go the aggressive
stance.
Try and get it. But
I'm sure once they finish all the practicing, they'll kind of have a good read on what the deg is going to be like and what that changeover period, whether it's faster to do 2, faster to do 1. But I can't see I don't think anyone is going to roll the dice on one pit stop.
No,
I think
I think it'll be. Well, we'll find out, I guess.
All right.
But
maybe I'm going to be wrong.
Yeah, we might. We both could be. I mean, we've been proven wrong, and we're told we're wrong, so we're probably wrong.
Yep. I've been married before, so I know what it's like. On the tyres, though.
Yep.
Tyre pressure changes.
Yes.
So they've basically changed the regulations and said, right, we're going to allow you to drop 2 psi. Is that right?
Yeah, correct. So they're going from 17 psi down to 15 psi is the minimum.
Right. And so that's going to open up maybe a little bit more of, like in terms of the strategy, it's going to open up a little bit because the wear is going to be different to what they're normally used to, being at the higher pressure.
Yeah, well, it will be different. But the last time they had low pressures was 2017 at Phillip Island, from memory, when they cut those tyres down. But that wasn't. I suppose it's not too different in terms of cornering speed. I mean, Philly's faster track, but there's still some fast.
Yeah, there is. But there is, like, you think about, like, Philly's got different corners where there's only one left-hander at Barbagallo.
That's pretty
Wanneroo,
taxing.
Barbagallo, whatever.
It's Wanneroo now, isn't it? Yes.
Wanneroo, sorry. Yes.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see if the tyres, again, you know, the idea, what I heard or quoted was that we're going to get more racing for longer. I'm not sure about that. What are your thoughts on just killing off the tyre completely and going to like something a little bit more Trans Am style where it doesn't overheat? That's a good idea, right?
I think that I mean, ultimately, I think that's where they should be going, like overall from a tyre strategy. But you know, look, kudos for trying. Let's see what the minimum tyre pressure change does. Let's see if it does. But I mean, typically, really all it does is put the window from here to here, and the teams figure it out pretty much straight away. Yeah, all the good teams, and then everyone else learns for the Sunday. So it's
Well, look, I remember at Philly that it was the 888 cars that namely cut down their tyres. So with any luck, sorry, guys. Anyway, I suppose we should move on to what sort of occurred last year, Damo.
Yeah.
So I had a look back, and it was, well, very consistent. Let's just say that. So qualifying, it was SVG, then Brown, then Feeney for each of the 3 races. Right. And the winners were SVG, Brown, and Feeney.
Yeah.
So I guess that sort of puts us in a predicament now, because this year Brown's in a 888 car. Yeah,
well, obviously having 2 888 cars strong all weekend. Yeah, definitely think they're going to be. It's going to be a replicate of last year a little bit. But I guess what I've got in terms of, if we go to my thoughts for the moment, is that I think Brodie's one to watch.
Do you?
Because he did go well there last year, right? So he got a second, and a third.
He did.
Had a good battle with SVG.
That was a cracking battle, actually.
And so I sort of feel like it's really, I think, nothing goes wrong with the cars, no crashes, no anything. It's really going to be a mark of, is Brodie here to compete, or is he here to just kind of make up the numbers because he really doesn't want to be there? Because it should be a strong track for him and for Erebus.
Yeah, theoretically, but that team is just in turmoil at the moment, so I don't know.
He can't replicate exactly from last year.
I don't think they're in a position to replicate exactly from last year, but I think if he's in and around the 5, like the top 5, then that's probably a good result for him. But yeah, I do agree. It's probably not a make or break, but it definitely will show whether his heart is in it or not, because he does like Wanneroo. So it could be very interesting. But what about notable mentions from last year? Even though parity was a big hot topic and back then.
Yes.
Because we did see some strong showings from the Mustang side as well.
We did.
But just obviously not enough to
take the win. But yeah, the Grove cars were strong.
They were,
and so that should be good for them for this weekend.
Yep, and DJR also had a good weekend there as well. Featured a car in the top 10 most days.
So maybe part of that resurgence that we saw from the last round, hopefully if they can continue that maybe they can be up there as well.
And what do you reckon? Can Chaz get a win?
Look, I hope so. I really do hope so.
We need a win. Mustangs need a win, and I feel like they need it this weekend.
Yeah, and I sort of feel like this is not the weekend for you, mate. Not for me, but I just feel like Triple A is so strong there. It's going to be really hard to push past.
Chaz,
yeah.
If you're watching, get your shit together and get a win. Do it. No, I tend to agree. It is a Triple Eight track. It has been for a long time, so it's going to be very difficult to beat them. But I guess that will probably bring us to our final thoughts of what we think potentially you should look at for the weekend.
Yes.
I suppose I'll kick it off, Damo.
Go.
I think we should be watching for Brown to continue his dominance over Feeney. Okay. I feel he is driving excellent, and Dutton was, what's the word for it, puzzled at where the pace was for Feeney post Taupo, because Brown absolutely cakewalked him.
And that just made you, like, your heart glow a little warmer when you read that, didn't it?
So good, because when Dutton's confused, I'm happy.
But
yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Feeney can respond or whether Brown does just continue that run. The other thing that I'll be looking out for, obviously, is Chaz and Matty Payne. They were strong last year, so I want to see them get their first wins for 2024. So, and obviously Chaz in the Mustang for the first time. Being back, so that'll be awesome. And my last takeaway for this weekend is to watch young Woody. Like I say every weekend, I'm looking for him to progress from Taupo, take that no shoe interview, and take it across to WA, get himself grounded, and get another top 10, top 5 solid result.
Yes, well, I think listening to one of the actual Super 2 drivers with an interview that was happened recently, I found out that WAU have actually got him in the car every 2 weeks. So with the rookie extra days of testing, and also then they get the extra day at a different track, plus their regular testing, plus the rounds. Every 2 weeks, Woody is in the car, and I think that's probably, however they've structured it, they've done a great job of keeping him up and going in that car, and I think...
It's always good when you've got Wood in the car.
Under my thoughts, or what? That was a good dad joke. I like it.
That was terrible.
I guess, so I think Woody, that's a good one. You're always going to be, you're always going to talk him up.
I am partial to Wood.
Yes.
But I think if he's definitely in the car every couple of weeks, that's only a bonus. So let's see what he can do this weekend.
Let's see what he can do.
So Damo?
Yes. What do I think? Well, after seeing yours, I had to do something a little different because I was going to have some of mine. But look, I think I spoke quickly or a little bit earlier. Brody, I think this is the round to really watch. Is he here to compete? If all things kind of go well, if he's not around that sort of top 5 number, I think you can. I'll take the hit and just say I don't think he's here to compete. I think if he actually gives it a fair crack and he's right up there, I think then maybe he's actually wanting to have some success with the team again. But yeah, I think it's one to watch because he should be up there.
Strong opinion on Damo there. Not there to compete. Put that headline up. Speed Cafe.
Oh, no, if only. Triple Eight, obviously a really strong weekend last year, and I think this is the round in terms of another strong headline is really to define, can Feeney come back? Can he actually have a nice strong round and show his teammate that he's not done and dusted? Because I really feel if Brown continues the dominance, I think that'll be it for the rest of the year. I think it might be enough.
Yeah, he needs some level of response. It is interesting. If you actually look at them on paper, like just wins and poles, they're line ball.
Yep.
Right? Absolutely line ball. But the difference is that Feeney's off day is really off versus what Brown's is. So Brown's putting together this really good little championship winning style drives. So it'll be very interesting to see if that continues in that trend, or if we see Feeney take it back. But will he get desperate? Will we see a Ambrose Scaife-esque turn 1 into the kitty?
Oh, maybe.
Pick up the bucket and spade and
start digging yourself
out.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. I guess there was talk early on in the year, like at what point will be a flashpoint.
Yeah.
Could this be the round?
It could be. It could be. It's building. It's building, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. Well,
and one more. A bit of a smoky. I thought I'd just throw in a bit of a smoky that I think Reynolds goes reasonably well in WA.
Yes,
and
it does.
I think Team 18's had such a great, solid performance. Their results have been pretty solid this year for where the team's at.
That's impressive.
I think he could be quite the smoky. He went well there, obviously, last year in an uncompetitive Mustang.
Yep.
And so this year, maybe in the Camaro, he might just end up a bit further up to the pointy end of the field. So that's my kind of smoky outsider.
Oh, look, I think that's a pretty good shout. You're right. Team 18's been way stronger than either of us thought they would be from the start of the year. So good luck to them. Hopefully they have a good weekend. Hopefully not too good a weekend. But, I'm always happy to see Davey and even Frosty up there. We're Frosty fans from a long way back. So, it's kind of the worst team to not follow. Yeah,
it's our new Erebus.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I'd say that's about it for this episode. It's been a quick one. We just wanted to bring you in for this, just preview, I guess, of the round. There is plenty more going on over the weekend. We've got the Imola Grand Prix.
F1,
There's the F1, and then we've got also Indianapolis. I was going to say Daytona Demo, but that's NASCAR, and I would have been shot. The Indy 500 qualifying is on this weekend, so...
do yourself a favour if you've got access to it. Watch it, because... I mean, it's a sensational one. Yeah. I'm not going to see it, but I'm going to watch all the highlights because, Indy qualifying is an amazing... It's like Bathurst qualifying. It's one of the peak motorsport things to watch.
It's insane. They miss by that. They push it to the edge, which is really cool to see. So, plenty of motorsport action, Damo, and we'll come back to you next week with the review of this weekend, I would suggest, and... maybe a little bit more. Yeah, a few other things in the can that we're working on. So thanks for everyone that's recently liked, subscribed, and given us the comments. We love it. And thanks for your time. We'll see you in the next video.